It's in motion.
How's it going, Exiles? My name is Ralph, and today... Enough of that. Ascendancy. We're talking about Ascendancy. It's amazing. Now, to give you guys some background of what I was playing, just to give you my opinions and such, I was playing a Templar, and I was using Sunder, and Melee Totem, Ancestral Protector. And let me just say, because this is part of Ascendancy, right? The new skills, Sunder feels incredible. People kind of make comments like, oh, it's like Glacial Cascade and Ground Slam put together, but it feels so good. And I haven't had fun playing Melee for so long, and then I played Sunder. It has such good range. It's the attack that Calm does, and that guy in Duresso's Pits uses that Ground Slam that kind of goes farther, but it explodes while you hit. So it's kind of like Kinetic Blast and Ground Slam put together. It really is sort of like that. Feels amazing. However, it gives you less attack speed. Melee Totem gives you more attack speed, so they kind of cancel each other out. And that felt pretty amazing. I played as much as I could. I mean, I was lagging a little bit because some of the new Parandis stuff, but I was able to be pretty successful. I was playing hardcore for the first time in a while, which was extremely fun, and I screwed up. I died in Act 4, normal. I'll throw a picture up for you guys about what happened. I was being silly, and I wanted to give him a hug. So, it was all right, though. We got back up. We kept on going. There was a lot of downtime, a lot of crashes, which was, it was kind of crappy, but still, we got back up there, made another Templar, was having so much fun with Sunder, it didn't even matter, played the exact same thing, and then the Labyrinth. Well, before the Labyrinth, the Trials of Ascendancy, which were no joke. Those were actually pretty difficult. Those were a lot of fun, but they were definitely difficult. At least some of them. The Dart one and the Spike one, I would say those ones gave me the hardest time. I mean, I wasn't expecting them, and playing on hardcore is kind of intense. Also, the new utility flasks are so cool, and they look like super pretty. But the Labyrinth. Finally got to the Labyrinth, and I was going in blind with no idea what was going to happen. So I over-leveled like crazy. I beat normal difficulty. I killed Malachi because it's hardcore, and I wanted to be safe. And it's really PoE is a knowledge game, and I didn't know anything about the Labyrinth. So I guess the Labyrinth, turn up that music volume, turn up that dialogue volume. Just everything's dark around me, but I'm just zoning into PoE. It was amazing. It is the coolest thing I think they've ever added to the game. There's all this clear speed meta, dried lake farming and this and that, and quick combat, you just run to the pack and blah, run to the pack and blah. This is the complete opposite. This is the stuff that we love about PoE. Thank RNGesus that desync is gone, and we are able to have something like this. You walk in there and Izaro comes on and he gives his big speech, and it's like, oh man, stupid at role-playing, GGG, trying to be all cool, but nah, it was awesome. It felt so cool. The tile layout is so pretty, and I know some of it's kind of like recycled Chamber of Sins, but it was just so cool. You walk in there, and it feels so organic, like you just kind of run through in whatever path you want, and you get this, it's like a different experience, and you think, what was in that direction? And you'll come up across a series of traps, and you'll say to yourself, like, if there's a series of traps here, there's going to be something behind them, something that you need, something that you want to get to, and it's crazy. Some of the combinations, I was running through these traps, and I was like, getting hit, I would freak out, and I would just like totally lose the rhythm of what was going on, and I get hit by all these traps, my health's like spiking down, I'm hitting the life flasks, I have like 1 use left, I'm at half health, but it's hardcore, and you don't want to leave because you can't leave a Labyrinth run, and you just barely get through it. It was crazy. Overall, the whole run took me like 45 minutes, so I wasn't about to leave. There were like 4 times when I almost ripped. After dying in normal Act 4, I was so committed. Izaro. Let's get to Izaro. He is sick. He had these really unique mechanics. He had this like frost kind of statue and a fire statue and a lightning statue, and you had to click them. You'd be clicking them constantly, and I was able to, in the second phase of the fight, the second time I fought him, he had the frost statue, which is kind of unfortunate because I was not clicking them as well as I could, but then I killed him. But like, the fight himself, he, as a boss, I don't know if it was just because the way my character was tuned, or like if I was in there at the right level, but it felt so good. It felt very rhythmic, felt very, run, hit him, like it felt very skillful, very kiting, almost kind of like that Etsiria experience, but in a mainstream element of the game, something that you don't have to farm fragments for. And it was so cool, and it lasted a long time. He has quite a lot of health. Had the Stone Golem to help me out. I really like Stone Golem. I think he's a very, very cool addition to the game. I wish the other golems were as good as him. And then, in the second phase of the fight, I totally screwed it up. But the whole experience was like no other. And at the end, you get the treasure chests, and I got an extra key because I went off and did this side thing, and it felt so organic. You're going through this kind of maze and these different layouts and these different sort of events, and I found a dark shrine that made this guy jump a bunch of like rare jewelry, and that was so cool. I don't know. It felt kind of linear almost, because I felt like I was just sort of running through and getting stuff done. Like I didn't feel confused or lost at any point. I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen it. It was my first time. This is why it's a first impressions. But like, I'm really excited to see how it randomizes, how it plays out day to day, because this feels like a piece of content I would love to do for endless hours, because it was that fun. I'm really excited for the helmet enchants and merciless and stuff like that. Oh, and I finally got to see Argus, Izarro's pet or whatever. That guy came up and he was punching me for like a quarter of my health. And I mean, I stayed there. I fought him. I took him down, but that was epic. Here's a tip to you guys, if you are playing the melee, because I think melee is finally exciting. Sunder is such a hard-hitting, satisfying skill. It feels so good. Like, the target locked skills, they're just like little dinky hits. But Sunder, what you do is, you place the Ancestral Protector Totem in front of you, and then you get behind it, and you Sunder, and you get the more attack speed, and your sort of totem sort of tanks for you. And it's really good. Like, you kind of put it in the doorway, and that's pretty much how I handled Argus. But then at the end of the Labyrinth, when you get to like, the music's going and Izarro, and he's like, oh, you deserve this. You earn this. And you get to ascend, you get to pick your class. And I went with the Hierophant because it's got like my favorite talent of all time, and I knew it was going to be super good. That 2% damage leech is amazing. I plan on getting that totem talent by the time it's all over with. But I picked Hierophant, and you pick your class, and then Izarro like reads the description of the class, and it just feels so good. Like I said, I'm really excited to see how it repeats, because I'm going to look back at this first impressions and be like, yeah, it was amazing. I went in there totally blind. The third stage when I fought Izarro on hardcore, it was so difficult. I almost died so many times, but it felt so cool. I initially thought this content was going to be very noob-friendly because of the class flavor and the overpowered mechanics of the Ascendancy classes. I don't think it's noob-friendly at all. Traps are no joke. And on softcore, or a standard, even if you're playing this and you die, then your run's over with. You can't town portal. This is such a cool mechanic. This is what PoE needed. It's a game inside the game. It's a totally new entity. It feels so cool. You ascend, you get your class, and you really feel like you earned it. It is amazing. Pardon me for sounding like a total advertisement. You guys have to play it. And if you haven't enjoyed Melee, you gotta try Sunder. The skill is incredible. And the enchant I got on my gloves, just a dinky little like weapons that get thrown out of me that create chilled ground or whatever when I get hit. It's so cool. I'm blown away. This, and Chris Wilson said, although we had the server crashes, this is the most amount of players we've ever had at a launch. And it just goes to show you that PoE is really going in a good direction. There's a lot of good things. There's a lot of good things to come. This is amazing. Such a good game. I'm really excited to see what happens. And let me know what you guys are doing in Ascendancy. Let me know what build you're playing or what you're doing, how you feel about the Labyrinth, if you guys have any questions or anything like that. I think it's amazing. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Love to hear what you guys are playing. Thanks for watching.